All right.
New.
Hi, Abe. What's going on? New.
New. It's new.
Neutopia.
So, that's all it is.
What about Oldtopia?
It's Wetopia.
It's Legend of Topia.
Wetopia.
That's good.
Oh, Wetopia.
Retrotopia.
Wetopia.
Earlier this week, Abraham and I decided to unlock the secrets of the TurboGrafx-16 Mini by playing by playing Neutopia. You know what's weird about Neutopia on the TurboGrafx-16 Mini?
It's kind of old.
It's
Why
old.
they call it? No.
Because you know it's on the TurboGrafx-16 Mini 4 times? It's on there 4 times.
So Neutopia 1 in English, Neutopia 2 in English, Neutopia 1 in Japanese, and Neutopia 2 in Japanese.
Exactly.
I'm just guessing.
So yeah, so if you want to play Neutopia 1 and 2 in English, then you can also play Neutopia 1 and 2 in Japanese. So for bilingual gamers, this is like the greatest thing that's ever happened. Since I don't know when. What do you think?
Like 1969, I'm just guessing in, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now.
Who knows? No, we don't even know what we're talking about right now, and that's why you're watching. Because we don't know what we are talking about. I mean, why else would you be on YouTube? Isn't that what YouTube is? Just a bunch of people who don't know what they're talking about? Going, what is Neutopia? What is it?
It sounds really loud. This is someone that for some reason makes letters. Don't come through the princess, you have to go somewhere, fight the monsters, walk around, 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 fight the monsters, push a block, walk around, fight the monsters, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's something like that. So what does Neutopia remind you of? So let's just back up. Let's back up. Yeah, let's just back up. Neutopia is a video game. If you didn't know, it's a video game, and it came out 1989. For what console did it come out?
TurboGrafx.
The TurboGrafx-16. The TurboGrafx-16 Super System.
We don't even have a script.
The TurboGrafx-16 Super System. And Neutopia is exactly like what game?
Legend of Zelda.
Like how much is it like Legend of Zelda?
Like 9 out of 10.
Like it's like 90%. It's basically the exact same game as Legend of Zelda. Yeah. So if you love the Legend of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda on the NES,
Must have.
then you must have Neutopia. It's really
You
good.
have to have Neutopia.
Yeah. So
it's against humanity if you don't have that one for like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
It's against humanity. And I've seen every single Legend of Zelda game. Every single one except Oracle of Ages.
yeah, that's the reason I wanted Abe to be in this video. So Abe is kind of a Zelda scholar. He's mastered Majora's Mask, the Ocarina of Time, Zelda's Journey to the Bottom of the Sock Drawer.
Yes, I am a professional philosopher on Zelda games.
Yes, that's right. We watch a lot of YouTube videos about Zelda, at least. At the very least, you can say that that's your credential, right?
Yes. That's the game I love the most, and that's the game I'm the best at.
Yeah, and does Neutopia do a good job of capturing the feel of a Zelda game?
Yes. You bob walls, you walk around.
What he's trying to say is he's not saying you bob walls. He's trying to say you bomb walls. You bomb walls.
And most of those walls you bomb, they don't give you anything. Just say, find a crystal ball and the compass. Find a crystal ball and the boss. Find a crystal ball and the compass.
So it's obvious to say that like Neutopia is good, right? Because it's a Zelda clone, Zelda's good. Ergo, Neutopia would be good. But there's a few weird quirks about it. So like, it's fun to find secrets. But what do the secrets tend to amount to when the first game especially?
So here's one example. He bombed a wall and then there was a dead end. He bombed the wall again and then there was a chest. It had medicine in it and that needed medicine.
Yeah, there's a lot of secrets. But so that would be a good secret, and you can bomb a lot of walls in the game. But mostly on the open world, it's like you run into NPCs. And they tell you stuff that you already know. So like, how many times do you, like? I can't remember how many times I find a secret passage only to discover it's like another NPC looks like all the other NPCs, and he's telling me the same thing about when you go into a cave, you can get a map and a compass or something like that. And it's like, how many times does it happen? It happens a lot. for me, that was one of the frustrations of playing Neutopia. So Neutopia to me it's an easier, more transparent version of Zelda with good music, decent graphics, and maybe slightly blander music, wouldn't you say? And then they made a sequel to Neutopia, like a couple years later. Now, the Neutopia 2 is how much like Neutopia 1?
Same.
It's like the same game, yeah. It's almost the same. Yeah.
It is the same.
It's like just like a little bit different maps to play with, right? Okay, guys. Do you want to tell them about Neutopia 2?
Yes, we've already told you why, but there's one more thing that surprised me and it might surprise you too. So I won that, you know the boss key thing with the Zelda, how you have to get the boss key, and then after you get the boss key, you have to go to the boss and defeat it to get the, whatever it is. But in Neutopia, I thought that when the Zelda made that, but actually Neutopia was the first to do that whole boss key to get to there's a monster and you need to defeat the monster to get the thing that you need, but you need to get a key so that you can actually get
Yeah, you read that somewhere online, didn't you?
Yeah.
They created the boss key dynamic that was later normal in Zelda.
Yeah.
So Neutopia 2, Neutopia 1 came out in 1989, so Zelda was already like a couple years old. But Neutopia 2 came out just before the Zelda's Link to the Past.
Yeah.
And so that game, I think, used that whole boss key thing, right?
Yeah, that's true. So actually Neutopia invented that whole thing. So Neutopia actually kind of restarted with Zelda. Neutopia has quite.
So it's not like it's completely. It's not like Neutopia is completely derivative. They actually innovated something.
Yeah, they made some new stuff. Like they made the fire one. The fire one. That's one thing that's not really close to what the Zelda.
Yeah, the fire rod is probably the best part of the game.
One thing that's not has anything to what Zelda.
Yeah, so you get a bunch of different items and magical weapons that you can use to defeat dungeons and bosses, right? But you get like this really great projectile weapon in the first game called the fire wand, right? You can shoot, is it rod or wand?
Wand.
And you shoot fireballs. It's great. And then in the second game you get a bunch of others too.
And it's a fire wand.
Yeah, it's a fire wad. Here's my fire wand.
I know how many front teeth you put these. Sorry. I know how many teeth.
He has no front teeth.
All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth.
What kind of score would you give Neutopia 1?
I'll give it a 4. It's just a little
4 out of 5.
repetitive. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. It's a little repetitive. I mean, the dungeons look the same.
Yeah.
And but the monsters, there's barely any monsters. I mean, I barely met some of body monsters. Okay, I've only been to one sphere, but come on, still.
What do you think about Neutopia 2 then?
Neutopia 2, same score.
Same score, 4 out of 5.
Actually, I will give them both a 4, yes. But one more thing, guys.
Okay.
You can't navigate. There is no map. There's only a map in the dungeons, but you can only find the map if you get the orb. So they don't have a map outside, but you do have a map in dungeons. But these dungeons, I mean, you can only get the map if you get the Spudel thing. I don't know what they call it, like orb. They tell you in all the games. You can pretty much just blow while they tell you.
Sweet. Cool. In my opinion, I think that Neutopia 1 is an average game. I think that it's slightly better than the original Zelda, but Neutopia 2, in my opinion, is much better. I like there's a lot more diversity. I think the music is better, and you get way more stuff that you can do. Because in the first game, you just get a fire wand or fire wad, but in the second game, you get a wind wad and also an electric wad.
I think a lightning wad is the most deadly.
Yeah, I've seen it in action. It's pretty cool.
I know.
Probably an ice wad.
No, you can get that in Breath of the Wild.
You definitely get wind wad. And you can use
What's
it.
a wad?
A wind wad, I don't know, like a lump of clay or something. Like a wad of boogers. Gross. But yeah, so you can use like a wad of magic. So you get more items. And I found out, I looked into it, and so I couldn't find, I looked into into the credits of the game. I can't find anything about the guy who directed the original game, but I found that the guy who made the second Neutopia game actually is really famous.
Yeah. I didn't know that at all. Well, he made Bomberman.
He is, I can't remember his name right now, and I'll throw it up there. Woo! But he is the creator of, he's not the creator of Bomberman, but he's the guy that made all the Bombermans that really count. Like, he did Bomberman 93, he did Saturn Bomberman, which many consider to be the greatest Bomberman game ever made. He also did Crater Maze, you know that Doraemon game? He did Crater Maze, and he did a few other, he was famous for some arcade game called like Moon Crescent or something, some space shooter from the early 80s. But yeah, he was kind of a big deal, and he was one of Hudson Soft's like better dudes. So it's like almost like they realized that Neutopia 1 was sort of mediocre because the guy they got to do the sound and the guy they got to do the lead developer were kind of like among their superstars. They were both pretty top. So I'll throw both their names and their profiles up there. Wah! Shaw! Check out my fire wad.
You should throw that fire wad up there.
Throw a fire wad. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Very good,
I can throw a boomerang! And that boomerang, trust me, that boomerang is very easy to break. I mean, the boomerang in this game, you can only find it in one place. And guess what? I bought two of them. So I bought one, it broke. I bought another one, it broke. And then guess what? And then I went into that building again, and it was a bomb shop.
Oh no. You sure you went into the right building? All the buildings look the same.
No, I went into the right building.
It's nice that at least in Utopia 2 there are buildings. Because in Utopia 1 there's no buildings.
Yeah,
people just live in holes in the wall.
They live on the ground and they live in holes in the wall.
Probably the most bizarre and unsettling element of Neutopia is all these people, you go into caves, you go into holes in the ground, and it's just people in there. And with their houses, it's like their bed and their table. Are they hobbits? Is that what, are they supposed to be hobbits?
It's the
Why do they live in the ground?
It's the Winter High
Dirt people.
No,
call them Mudmen.
Duh. Let's call it.
Oh, Dirt. He's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's
Dirt.
the bad guy.
Yeah, the bad guy's name is Dirt.
Duh.
Dirt. It has nothing to do with Darth Vader. It's just Dirt. No, it's just a coincidence. Does this game have any similarities to Star Wars?
This is the thing. No, no similarities except that over in the beginning says, "I am a wise and old lady." Everybody says that.
That's true. There is a wise and old lady at the beginning of the game, and you can go there she heals you, and she saves your game.
Yeah.
Well, we've been playing both games, and I think we both like Neutopia 2 a little bit better. Yeah.
We haven't even got to the next video. Please tell us what it is in the comments.
Do you think that Neutopia makes the TurboGrafx-16 Mini better?
Yes.
I agree. I think it's probably a lot of hours of gameplay.
And I think Mr. Wonder Woman maybe is then probably not in this game. Just Wonder Woman does that.
It sounds like your little sister's awake and running around. I think we probably have to stop the video.
Goodbye.
But wait, before we go, we have one more thing to say.